got something to say. Lambeau's fearless leader, wired for sound, and there is no telling what we might hear from number 4.
Blue 58! Easy on the old man tonight now. Take it easy on me now. I'm getting old.
And you can ring my bell, ring my bell. Tommy's jacked up, coming up. You will not.
I can hear the crowd now. Tom,
Live from Charlotte, we're about to get jacked up.
Number 19. Back. Oh, is number 4 of the night. This one with a man on up the train. Oh, baby.
Popped up in the foul ground. Hillenbrand, did he make the play? Yes, he did. What a sensational catch made by Hillenbrand.
I grew up watching baseball.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Goodness.
What a play-by-play. Two pretty good shortstops out there tonight, huh?
You can see
He's going to hang up, but Delgado is there, and he reaches in, and he got it. He caught it. To right field, sinking fast. Roberts dives and makes the catch. Double play coming up as he fires to second for the out.
We take you to Pebble Beach, California, where Champions Tour star Craig Stadler continued a strong year. Stadler captured his 4th title of the season, shooting a final round 66, finishing 15 under par at the inaugural First Tee Open at Pebble Beach. He now has 7 victories overall in 2 years. ESPN celebrates Craig Stadler, our Athlete of the Week.
The NFL on ESPN roars into the regular season with the 3rd big game of the week. Brett Favre leads the Green Bay Packers against the defending NFC champion Carolina Panthers. Packers-Panthers, live tonight on ESPN. What began as a novelty is now a phenomenon. For 10 years, ESPN has led where few dared to go. Taking a new breed of athlete through the turn of the century. From Los Angeles, California, X Games 10, only on ESPN. It's the second half of the season, and now is the time for the contenders to show their stuff. Don't miss all the exciting action of the Major League Baseball pennant races every week on ESPN.
Jacked Up, brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume,
yeah.
Pump that bass. It is time. It's the most popular segment on Monday Night Countdown. Tommy's Jacked Up.
We are so glad to be back for a 2nd season of Jacked Up. We are going to get to it. We had a great first week. Let it roll. Number 5, we're going to go with the Steelers versus the Raiders. Tommy Maddox is going to be making the pass. It's going to be to his big target, Plexico Burris. Danny Clark going to be coming in from the inside and right on the hash mark. Take another look at it and watch these receivers head. One more look. Plexico Burris got jacked up. Number 4, Cowboys at the Vikings. Vinny Testaverde falling out of the throw. Keyshawn trying to make a catch for him. Brian Williams going to make the hit. Take another look at it. Oh, and Keyshawn's used to taking hits, but not like that one. And even after that hit, Brian Williams still hitting it. Keyshawn got jacked up. Number 3, welcome to the NFL. Eli Manning trying to get That's Jerome McDougal.
That ain't right. No.
Just look at I want you to take a look at the look on his face. Sorry for the Mannings. Eli knew that he got jacked up. Number 2, the Broncos and the Chiefs. And the newest Bronco, John Lynch making the hit on Dante Hall, coming across the middle. Oh, my goodness. Look at the hit again. Dante Hall got jacked up. And number 1, Giants and the Eagles. Jeff Eagles, the punter. Look out, field. Look out. Jeremiah trainer knows that Jeff Eagles got jacked up.
Oh, that is.
My goodness, that was a good first week.
Oh, my goodness. Woo. Yo, can we just take a time out for a minute?
Oh, man.
Jeff Eagles like, caught me back. Caught me back. Brett Favre doesn't get jacked up a whole lot, but he is the man, the future Hall of Famer. There he is on the field. Ed Werder, what makes this guy continue to tick?
Well, Stuart, as you know, the end of Brett Favre's career is a source of constant speculation. In fact, he'd probably be riding his lawnmower at his Mississippi farm right now if he were quarterback of, say, the 49ers. But he couldn't stand the thought of his overtime interception against Philadelphia being the final pass of his brilliant career. And the other thing, Favre believes that this team can win him another championship, hence his Super Bowl or bust decree.
Favre to the 5, touchdown! Favre going deep into double coverage, and it is caught in front of 2 Raiders for a touchdown. Unbelievable.
Favre lost it down the left side, got a man out there. Touchdown, Green Bay!
I think this team is a contender for the Super Bowl. I don't think I'm putting our team in the spot. I don't think I was, going out on a limb. I think we have a good team. I think Carolina has a good team. But there's only one great team every year, and that's the team that wins the Super Bowl.
Which was more painful for you in Philadelphia, giving up 4th and 26 or the interception in overtime?
Well, I'd have to say, the interception, because that's what I control. I was disappointed after the 4th and 26. Before that play, I really felt like we had it won. I don't think you ever forget it. I know since that play, as I sit here before you today, that play has crossed my mind way more than any other play, good or bad.
How long do you anguish over something like that?
When my career is over and I look back, I promise you I'll probably think more about the negative than I will the positive. There's times I wish I could just shrug it off. That play alone made me more eager to come back. It's easy to leave like John Elway did, but it's hard to leave when you could have done something different that may have gotten you into the Super Bowl.
Are you just going to keep playing until you win another Super Bowl?
I can sit here and say, well, if we win one this year, it'll be easy to walk away. Well, I don't know, 6 months from now, I may say, you know what? We're pretty darn good. We won a Super Bowl. I got to come back and give me some more of it.
Favre told me he doesn't want this to be a win-one for Brett campaign because he already has a Super Bowl ring. He says he wants to go out gracefully, but at the same time, Tommy, he says, I don't want to look back and say, you know what, I could have played a little bit more.
Well, that's the fine line that you have to walk at. He has great passion for the game, but I know that I said earlier that window is closing, and I think it's closing because as the years have gone by, at least the last couple of years, we have heard Brett hint at the fact that he's thinking about leaving this game. I don't think he's going to leave it right away, but he is certainly, it is on his mind. He doesn't want to be one of these guys that they have to drag off the football field. His legacy will be intact when he walks away.
But Tommy, an hour and a half ago, we were all out on the field. Do you get any indication this is a guy thinking of retirement? Absolutely. He has a great passion for the game. Yeah, at times it's drudgery, hard work, the bumps, the bruises, but this is what Brett Favre lives for. The games, being around the guys, the camaraderie. That's what I miss. That's what Michael misses. That's what Tommy misses. The guys in the locker, the camaraderie you develop, that is free of the core, that is unique to the game of football. That's why I believe Brett Favre will continue to play the game almost so they have to drag him off the field, Michael.
Jones, I do miss competing and everything, Jones, but I do not miss the pain. And I'm sitting here with you and been sitting in this chair for a few years, and I still feel the pain. So I can only imagine how much pain guys like Brett Favre feel. And Brett has played so long and played so well and put himself on the line for his team time and time and time again. I think we give him credit, but not enough credit for what he puts himself through.
Does it hurt Brett at all that if he suffers an injury, he will then feel the extra pressure of feeling like,
no doubt.
I got to start.
He cannot go to the training room. He cannot. And you just can't. And this football team without Brett Favre, I don't care what we talk about, how great Armand Green is. You take this football team, you take Brett Favre to this football team, and we'll see a different Armand Green. We'll see Armand Blue. They'll be busting him up.
Stuart, 5 years ago, he broke my record. He hasn't missed a play since. The guy, it's absolutely incredible.
Think about it. It's not just 190. I mean, we talk about that, but as Tommy said, playoff games count.
Right. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Overtime 200.
208 straight starts, including the playoffs. Let me put it in perspective. The Carolina Panthers organization, including playoffs, 150 games.
There you are.
Brett, 208 straight. Yeah. Carolina as a team, 150. Brett now, wired for sound, handling his business during the game.
You gotta do it. Let's see what we're made of.
Damn line's getting long. Arm don't feel as good today. My arm don't feel as good today. Neither does the rest of my body. Hell, the statue looks a hell of a lot better than me. I told him to stick a sock down in there and make it look better. He wouldn't go for it. Last week, first group, we did fine. We can do better, but it was a start. We got to just pick it up where we left it off last week. I don't know. We missed it. Wideouts, we don't need them. We're a power team. Easy on the old man tonight now. Take it easy on me now. I'm getting old. F short, 75, fullback smash, flanker short cross on one, ready? Blue 58! Blue 58, set it! Not bad.
Got him. Y'all got to do in the same play.
You got to snap the ball when it's supposed to be. He looks up at me and I go, man, that was me. Green 18! Green 18, set! I knew I was up creek without a paddle on that one. I've thrown that play so many times, but it's always been to the right. Yeah. I'm not amphibious.
Amphibious?
Uh-oh. Oh! 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 What was it? I'm just doing it all. We have multiple flags on the play. Illegal running over somebody. Man had should be my uncle. If a chicken had lips, he could whistle. Hungry. Hungry. I may have to go to the restaurant after this and get me something to eat. And I don't want a beanie weenie. Big piece of cheesecake. Brockwurst. Country fried chicken. What the hell are you doing with your nose? You know you're on national. Yeah, but that looks like you're picking your nose. Genie's up there going, Doug, get out of the nose. Because he'll go in there deep now.
From a guy who's already great to a guy looking to be great. Now, let me tell you something about Jake Delhomme. He led all NFL quarterbacks last season with 7 game-winning drives. He knows how to win games. He knows how to win games that are close. He knows how to win games that have a whole lot of intensity. We got some Packer fans in the house. That is not he hate me, but that's some old school from, yo, he hate me's a white guy? Carolina ready to do some work. The fans love it here. We are right next to the field. Almost 70,000 strong here in the Cackalack, getting ready for the Packers and Panthers. Monday Night Football coming up, but don't miss our Lead Pipe Lock next.
ESPN joins the fans of the most beautiful game in the world. In Europe, skill, tactic, and precision. In the United States, force, courage, and speed. In Brazil, magic, passion, and talent. In the Netherlands, touch, power, and excitement. And if that's not enough, the World Cup qualifying matches crowns the trip around the 5 continents. Football around the world on ESPN, the world's greatest fan. Your home for the thrills and spills of motorsports all season long is ESPN.
take you to Pebble Beach, California, where Champions Tour star Craig Stadler continued a strong year. Stadler captured his 4th title of the season, shooting a final round 66, finishing 15 under par at the inaugural First Tee Open at Pebble Beach. He now has 7 victories overall in 2 years. ESPN celebrates Craig Stadler, our Athlete of the Week.
ESPN presents an encore of the finest UEFA games from last year with the best of the UEFA Champions League. Tomorrow, FC Porto completes their dream season in the championship game against AS Monaco. The best of the UEFA Champions League on ESPN. The NFL on ESPN roars into the regular season with the 3rd big game of the week. Brett Favre leads the Green Bay Packers against the defending NFC champion Carolina Panthers. Packers-Panthers, live tonight on ESPN.
Monday Night Countdown is delivered by UPS. Global shipping you can count on. UPS. What can Brown do for you? And in part by the new M3 Power from Gillette. Feel the power of the world's best shave.
Here in Charlotte. We love being here, but we'll be back in our home field next week, guys. Looking forward to the lead pipe lock. There it is. We got a new studio to try out next week, and this is what we play for, the lead pipe. This season, we'll all get a chance to pick each game, and at the end of the season, one of us will bring the lead pipe to our trophy case. So, guys, we're going to start it out. Who you got for tonight?
Joel, it's the first time Carolina's at home since winning the NFC Championship. They're going to get a huge lift. I like Carolina.
Man, I'm taking the Panthers, man, with that front four and this crowd right here. I'm telling you, it's so hype. I want to go put on some uniform, and go back over there. I'm telling you, the Panthers.
I thought you said you were hurting. You said you were hurt.
That's what they call adrenaline.
Okay.
It gets you over the pain.
I'm sticking with the Panthers as well. Hard to imagine they could lose tonight.
Hey, I picked the Panthers to go to the Super Bowl.
That's right.
So you know I'm picking the Panthers tonight. Now, what that means is if the Packers win, all of us were wrong, and we're all 0-1 for the lead pipe lock. Monday Night Football coming up next on ABC. Up next on ESPN, the World Series of Poker. Guys, we love our home, but this was pretty nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, we great. We great.
Nothing like being at the
Nothing like
game.
we're on the road, baby.
Nothing like being at the game.
Next on ESPN. Monday Night Football on ABC. Take your pick. It's going to be fat either way. We'll see you. But my guys, I'm sure. Out.
أوربت تحطم الرقم القياسي.
US of A. Hit it. Come on and hit it. Come on and get ready. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night tradition. The NFL Big Show, 35th edition. Al and John are ready. The whole country's psyched. All my ready friends are here for Monday night.
This is
Monday Night Football on ESPN. Week 1 edition coming to you from Bank of America Stadium, Charlotte, North Carolina, where the Panthers will play host to the Green Bay Packers. Mark Brown with you for now. Throughout from our ESPN studio, Al Michaels, John Madden will have the call with some help from Michelle Tafoya. Jake Delhomme was not a household name until he took his team to the Super Bowl 1 season ago, and he did it with the help of another unknown, Steve Smith, who was by far his favorite target. Between the two of them, they were able to take the Carolina Panthers to an NFC championship. Well, Delhomme, in his first year as a starter, as he came over to Carolina from the Saints, had only 50 career passes prior to 03, but had an 80.6 rating. Threw for 3,200 plus yards, 19 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. Delhomme was often solid but unspectacular, but he had a knack for making the big play when it counted most, and the guy that was in his sights was Steve Smith there, one of his 88 receptions on the season. 10 times in 16 games, Delhomme failed to pass for even 200 total yards, but his team won 7 of those games, so it was all about not making mistakes and making the right play at the right time for Jake Delhomme. He had 19 TDs and 16 interceptions. Not overly impressive, but the top receiver, as we said, Steve Smith, 88 catches, over 1,100 yards and 7 touchdowns. He also returned punts for an average of 10 yards per return, including one that he took 53 yards for a touchdown. Brett Favre is no stranger to Monday Night Football or winning with the Green Bay Packers. He's leading his team against the Carolina Panthers. Coming up next.
The wait is over. The UEFA Champions League returns to ESPN with full-day coverage of Group Stage 1 Match Day 1. Live tonight, Scottish holders Celtic host La Liga's Barcelona. Then on to Italy, where Inter battles German club Bremen. Later, PSG faces the #1 club in the world, Chelsea. Then live tomorrow, Leverkusen is home to face the legends Real Madrid. Dutch power Ajax is in Amsterdam to play Juventus. And we finish up when Lyon takes on the old firm Manchester United. The UEFA Champions League on ESPN.
Kick off each and every weekend with the new ESPN SoccerNet Press Pass. All the burning issues of the moment covered in full by our expert panel. More interviews.
Breaking news concerning Patrick Vieira.
More interaction.
Not a chance.
More controversy.
They're just off.
The all-new ESPN SoccerNet Press Pass.
Don't you like football? You running it away from football?
Same show, only better. Fridays, only on ESPN.
We take you to Pebble Beach, California, where Champions Tour star Craig Stadler continued a strong year. Stadler captured his 4th title of the season, shooting a final round 66, finishing 15 under par at the inaugural First Tee Open at Pebble Beach. He now has 7 victories overall in 2 years. ESPN celebrates Craig Stadler, our Athlete of the Week.
Green Bay Packers won the NFC North last year with a record of 10-6, sneaking in over the Minnesota Vikings. Carolina Panthers 11-5, a magical season on their way to the Super Bowl, which they lost 32-29 to the New England Patriots. And speaking of Super Bowls, Brett Favre has been there twice. He has won it once. The 3-time most valuable player of the NFL from 95 through 97 is in his 14th season, with over 45,000 career passing yards, number 5 all-time, 346 touchdown passes, is number 2 all-time. He will make his 190th consecutive regular season start and 208th consecutive start, including playoffs. Those are unprecedented numbers for a quarterback. And he is a gamer. He's played hurt, and he always plays with production. 65% of his passes completed last year. 3,361 yards, which is down a little bit for Brett Favre, but of course he's got Ahman Green. We'll talk about him in just a moment. So they don't rely on him to throw the ball as much as they used to as far as winning and losing is concerned. And on Monday Night Football, Brett Favre loves the spotlight. Only Dan Marino has thrown more touchdown passes on Monday Night Football than has Brett Favre. And of course, Dan Marino, the only man to throw more touchdown passes, period, than Brett Favre. We talked about Ahman Green. Green, of course, is a tremendous running back who led the NFL last year with 1,883 yards rushing on 355 carries. 15 of those carries ended up in the end zone. He also caught 5 touchdown passes. Ahman Green, in his 7th year,
in 5th year with Green Bay, has had just tremendous seasons over the last 4 years coming in. 1,175 yards was his poorest season. He's averaged 4.5 yards per carry, 4.6, 4.3, and last year, a 5.3. The one knock on the game for Ahman Green would be his propensity to put the ball on the ground. 22 fumbles in the last 4 years. He has lost 16 of those, including 5 last year. But when you talk about yards from scrimmage since 2000, no one has more than Ahman Green. Almost 7,600 yards from scrimmage. That's more than even Priest Holmes, who, of course, has been a dominant running back in that time period. Carolina Panthers getting ready to host the Green Bay Packers. The opening night of Monday Night Football on ESPN. The opening kickoff is coming up next from Carolina.
ESPN joins the fans of the most beautiful game in the world. In Europe, skill, tactic, and precision. In the United States, force, courage, and speed. In Brazil, magic, passion, and talent. In the Netherlands, touch, power, and excitement. And if that's not enough, the World Cup qualifying matches crowns the trip around the 5 continents. Football around the world on ESPN, the world's greatest fan.
We take you to Pebble Beach, California, where Champions Tour star Craig Stadler continued a strong year. Stadler captured his 4th title of the season, shooting a final round 66, finishing 15 under par at the inaugural First Tee Open at Pebble Beach. He now has 7 victories overall in 2 years. ESPN celebrates Craig Stadler, our Athlete of the Week.
ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina hosts for the Monday Night Football matchup between the Panthers and the Packers. Great NFC matchup as the Panthers were the surprise team to go to the Super Bowl last year, just 2 years removed from a 1-15 record. We talked about Delhomme Smith in the passing game, but that was all set up by the running of Stephen Davis. Davis, a big and powerful back with deceptively quick feet, has been able to carry the mail in his seasons in the NFL. In his 9th year out of Auburn, 1,300 plus rushing yards in 4 of the last 5 seasons. And 48 rushing touchdowns over those last 5 years, and those rank him right up there among the leaders. Only Priest Holmes and Marshall Faulk have gotten into the end zones, running the football more over the last 5 seasons. So Davis, a very important part of this offense with a career-high 1,444 yards rushing for Carolina. They're ready to start Monday Night Football at Bank of America Stadium. Let's get you out to Al Michaels, John Madden, and Michelle Tafoya.
Great things is he was an outstanding linebacker, maybe their MVP a couple of years ago. He goes right back into the starting lineup, and he's part of what most people regard as the best front 7 defensively in the NFL.
And he's a big part of their pass rush, and that's where they missed Mark Fields last year. They felt that, you know, they normally have a 4-man pass rush, but when they bring that 5th guy, it was always Mark Fields, and he's a violent pass rusher, and he was really missed, especially early in the season.
And we'll see that Carolina defense immediately because Carolina will kick off. John Casey, an original Panther. This team is now 10 years old. Puts it in the air. Najee Davenport will run it back from the Green Bay 3-yard line. And Davenport up the middle, brings it back out to the 28-yard line. And that's where the Green Bay Packers and Brett Favre will take over. Here's the starting group.
Brett Favre, University of Southern Mississippi. Ahman Green, Nebraska Cornhuskers.
William Henderson, UNC.
Robert Ferguson, Texas A&M. Donald Driver, Alcorn State.
Robert Franks, University of Miami.
Chad Clifton, Tennessee.
Mike Wall, Naval Academy.
Michael Flanagan, UCLA.
Marco Rivera, Penn State.
Mark Tauscher, Wisconsin.
Very good, very experienced, very solid offensive line that can make holes for guys like that as Green picks up 6. Here's the Carolina starting defense.
Julius Peppers, Baylor, North Carolina.
Preston Butler, Clemson University.
Chris Jenkins, Maryland.
Mike Rucker,
Nebraska.
Mark Fields, Washington State.
Dan Morgan, Miami.
Will Witherspoon, Georgia.
Ricky Manning, UCLA.
Mike Minter, Nebraska.
Colin Branch, Stanford.
Chris Gamble, The Ohio State University.
Gamble is a rookie. We talked about the front seven. If there's a weakness defensively, it's that secondary. Second down and 3. Huge hole. And Green is able to take it for a first down. He is tackled by Branch. They move the chains to the 40-yard line.
You know, and the Packers are going to run this play all night. It's a counter play where the back of Mon Green, he's going to step to his right, and then you pull the guard and you bring the tight end over to this side. You see, here comes the guard, boom, right there. There's a tight end, boom, right there. And here comes a Mon Green. Watch him. You see that little step to the right? That's the counterpart of it. Step to the right, and then bring the ball back to the left.
Green rushed for over 1,800 yards, a Packer record last season, and that pass intended for Donald Driver is incomplete. It'll be second down and 10. Brett Favre, 190 consecutive regular season starts. Long ago, he eclipsed the record held by Ron Jaworski, who's in the ballpark tonight, the former Eagle quarterback. And here is Brett right now, coming off a real good year. Not his best year, but he led the league in a couple of categories. Had his moments, had some other moments as well, but really, what has he lost?
But he had all those great moments last year with a broken thumb too, and he played the whole year after he broke the thumb with a splint on it.
Second down and 10. This is Green, and Green is taken down at the 45-yard line, running right into Mike Minter, setting up third down and 5 on this opening series.
You know, one of the things that the Panther defense will do to stop this run is they'll go to a 4-4. In fact, they're just coming out of that right now, where they play with 4 defensive linemen, 4 linebackers, and just 3 defensive backs.
And there's John Fox asking the crowd to help out, and they're more than happy to comply. Tony Fisher is in the backfield. Shotgun here. Favre gives it. Inside handoff to Fisher, and Fisher is able to dart across the 50-yard line to pick up the first down.
Yeah, and that's what the Packers do as well as anyone is get in shotgun, but not always pass the ball. It can be play action pass, or it can be a draw like this play. Here they get him spread out. They make you think that it's a pass. Then they bring in Tony Fisher, who's their pass receiving running back, and they hand the ball to him on a draw or running play.
And put the tackle Kevin Barry in the backfield as well that time. First and 10, 49-yard line. This is Davenport. Davenport to the outside, and he's run out of bounds by Mike Minter. You know, Green is the primary back, 1,800 yards plus last year, but last night, and we were both there when Mike Sherman was telling us, John, he likes to have Davenport come in for Green between the 40s.
And the reason is he wants Amon Green in there when he gets in the red zone. He said that sometimes they would have a drive and Amon Green would be in there between the 40s. Then they'd get down closer to the goal line and he'd be too tired and they'd have to take him out. So now he wants to bring Najee Davenport in this area between the 40s, so he has Amon Green ready and fresh when he gets closer to the goal line.
Second down and 10 on a roll. Favre throwing on the run, and that's caught by Ferguson. He's taken out of bounds. Now, Brett doesn't have what you would consider to be like all-star Pro Bowl type receivers, but in Driver and in Ferguson and in the emerging Javon Walker, he is a nice little developing trio.
And that's what he's proud of. You know, they came in here as young guys, some of them from small colleges, and they've kind of developed with and under him.
Third and 5. They put Green back in the game, flanking Favre, operating from the shotgun. And they give it to Green, and Green is able to pick up the first down. As he gave it to him, pump fake, and Green, much as Fisher did on the third down play a moment ago, picks up a first down.
Again, the Panthers are in a 3-man line in a nickel defense. And watch, if they're going to pull Mike Wall, the left guard, he pulls and kind of traps that 3-man line. Again, they caught the Panther defense playing pass defense, and they ran the ball at him again.
Now Davenport back in as the running back. Najee Davenport takes it and then backs his way down to the 37-yard line where Julius Peppers makes the tackle. Brett Favre, broken thumb and all last season. Some of the things that he was able to pull off. Had a TD pass in every game, so his streak is now 25. Fourth time he led the NFL in TD passes. He had 32, and for the 12th straight year, 3,000 or more yards passing. Second down and 8 from the 37-yard line. On a draw, Davenport. And coming up to make the stop that time, Will Witherspoon and Dan Morgan, the two linebackers, setting up third and long.
You see what they did? They were trying to do something, so they brought Chris Gamble. It was the right corner. They brought him on a corner blitz. In fact, the Packers run right into it. You have to mix it up. You have to get something to stop them. And here they're going to bring Gamble. See number 20? He comes right there. He takes that run, holds it on, makes Davenport cut back into the pursuit.
Third and 9. Favre rolling, buying time. Flag is down. First one of the game. Pass incomplete. Donald Driver, the intended receiver. Ricky Manning Jr. covering on the play. Walt Coleman is the referee tonight.
You talk about Ricky Manning Jr. and a guy that played well down the stretch for the Panthers. I'll tell you, he sure did. I mean, he was big in those playoffs and big in the Super Bowl.
Formation on the offense. Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. That's decline. Will be fourth down.
Manning was the guy who had the 3 interceptions in the Philadelphia game, in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, and he's a little guy, but he really plays this game physical.
Played his college ball at UCLA. Brian Barker was just picked up to do the punting. They picked B.J. Sander in the 3rd round to do their punting, but he's inactive tonight, so they bring in Barker, and that is fair caught by Steve Smith at the 7-yard line. So Carolina will take the ball for the first time in the game. 9:38 to play in the period. No score in Charlotte.
ESPN joins the fans of the most beautiful game in the world. In Europe, skill, tactic, and precision. In the United States, force, courage, and speed. In Brazil, magic, passion, and talent. In the Netherlands, touch, power, and excitement. And if that's not enough, the World Cup qualifying matches crowns the trip around the 5 continents. Football around the world on ESPN, the world's greatest fan.
It's fun to let the big dog eat. I like that crowd behind me saying, "Rip it and rip it? Heck yeah. Crush it whenever I get the chance." I think it's a great way to start a hole. Hit the bank. I don't think it'd be nearly as much fun if you're putting first.
Charles Howell, one of the many stars you'll see in the PGA on ESPN.
This week on ESPN, the UEFA Champions League continues Wednesday, including the live match between Leverkusen and Real Madrid. Thursday is Action Sports Day on ESPN with a special preview of X Games 10. Then later, the best in beach soccer take to the sands of Italy at the European Pro Series. And Friday, high rollers go for broke at the World Series of Poker. Sports all day, every day on ESPN this week.
How impressive was the turnaround of the Carolina Panthers? Well, in the 2 seasons before reaching the Super Bowl, they were a combined 8-24, win percentage of just .250. That ties the 81 San Francisco 49ers for the worst record for 2 seasons prior to reaching a Super Bowl. Very impressive performance by Carolina.
In Bank of America Stadium. 7-yard line, first down, and Jake Delhomme will start with a pass. And a pretty deep pass here that's caught up at the 25 by Muhsin Muhammad. So their opening play in their post-Super Bowl season is a 19-yard pass reception.
And they came on a zone dog right off the bat, and this is something that a quarterback has to be very confident, or you have to have a lot of confidence in your quarterback. When you're backed up like that, you can go play action pass and get the ball out of there quickly like that on the first play of the game.
Jake Delhomme out of nowhere, back up at New Orleans, and played in NFL Europe. In fact, one year he backed up Kurt Warner over there and then had a fabulous year. And they give it to Steve Smith, and he's going to throw the ball, but well short, underthrowing Moreeeee Mohammed. And Steve Smith shaken up on the play.
He's probably shaken up because he didn't get that ball out there. Michael Hawthorne was covered, Mr. Mohammed, and he really had him. I mean, he had him covered. I don't think there was anything there. And you see Steve Smith, he goes and tries, in fact, he does a little jump as he throws the ball, and there's no way that it's going to go out of there. In fact, Grady Jackson hits him just as he throws the ball, or right after he throws the ball. And Grady Jackson weighs about 350 pounds, and that'll get you awakened.
And Smith weighs about 185 as Steven Davis is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Let's take a look at the Panthers starting offense.
Jake Delhomme, Louisiana Lafayette.
Stephen Davis, Auburn. Brad Hoover, Western Carolina.
Moreeeee Mohammed, Spartan Dolls of Michigan State.
Steve Smith, Utah.
Chris Mangum, Ole Miss. Jordan Gross, Utah. Doug Brzezinski, Boston College. Jeff Mitchell, Florida Gator. Rich Tilsky, Utah State. Matt Willig, fight on.
Fight on for Old SC is what he's saying. And that is Grady Jackson, who was involved in the play, the replay we showed you with Steve Smith throwing what was his first ever regular season pass. And then here is Jackson getting hurt on the next play.
Jackson is number 75. You see him right there. See, it's that left leg that got caught.
So they work on the Packer injury timeout.
Every day is ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. ESPN joins the fans of the most beautiful game in the world. In Europe, skill, tactic, and precision. In the United States, force, courage, and speed. In Brazil, magic, passion, and talent. In the Netherlands, touch, power, and excitement. And if that's not enough, the World Cup qualifying matches crowns the trip around the 5 continents. Football around the world on ESPN, the world's greatest fan. ESPN presents an encore of the finest UEFA games from last year with the best of the UEFA Champions League. Today, could they knock out mighty Manchester United? The Giant Killers Porto are on their way to glory. The best of the UEFA Champions League on ESPN.
And stand up with some assistance and then get on the cart. And he's the guy filling the role so often played by Gilbert Brown over the past few seasons.
And you know, the way defense is today, everyone needs one of those big run stoppers to play the middle on running downs, and Grady Jackson was that guy for the Packers, or is that guy for the Packers.
His spot taken by Cullen Jenkins, whose brother Chris plays for Carolina. So we've got a flag here. So the Jenkins boys are both in action tonight. Of course, big brother Chris is a Pro Bowler.
Full start.
Yeah, big brother Chris.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Big brother Chris got all the size too. Little brother Cullen had a little shorts. You know, and he doesn't have that bulk. You know, we see Grady Jackson come off there, the big run stopper on the inside, and Jenkins is not. I mean, he's a smaller, a little undersized, but he has very, very good quickness.
Third down and 16 now from the 20-yard line. They double team him right off the bat. Then Delhomme steps up, works his way out of trouble, throws incomplete. Mohammed says, come on, call the penalty. doesn't get one. By the way, for what it's worth, we can point this out at the outset. Last week, or last year, in the first week of the season, with the exception of the Monday night game, 15.3 penalties per game were called. This year, not counting this game, of course, 13.4. So everybody says there'll be too many calls, illegal contact, blah, 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 blah. Right now, penalties are down 12% for what it's worth.
And they were up in preseason, and maybe that was a good thing in preseason. If we're going to do it or overdo it, let's overdo it in the preseason, not in the regular season.
Todd Sauerbrunn, good deep kick, fielded by Antonio Chapman. And Chapman cannot turn the corner on the outside, and he is flung down by their special teams maven, Carl Hankton. So a good booming kick by Sauerbrunn of 54 yards. Green Bay ball.
Up in the foul ground. Hillenbrand, did he make the play? Yes, he did. What a sensational catch made by Hillenbrand.
I mean, I grew up watching baseball. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Goodness.
What a play by Clayton. Two pretty good shortstops out there tonight, huh?
You can see he's going to hang up, but Delgado is there, and he reaches in, and he got it. He caught it.
To right field, sinking fast. Roberts dives and makes the catch. Double play coming up as he fires to second for the out.
We take you to Pebble Beach, California, where Champions Tour star Craig Stadler continued a strong year. Stadler captured his 4th title of the season, shooting a final round 66, finishing 15 under par at the inaugural First Tee Open at Pebble Beach. He now has 7 victories overall in 2 years. ESPN celebrates Craig Stadler, our Athlete of the Week.
ESPN presents an encore of the finest UEFA games from last year with the best of the UEFA Champions League. Today, could they knock out mighty Manchester United? The Giant Killers Porto are on their way to glory. The best of the UEFA Champions League on ESPN.
How's this for a matchup next Monday night, especially after yesterday's games? The Minnesota Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles. Randy Moss and company. Culpepper with 5 touchdown passes yesterday. McNabb had 4 for Philly, 3 to Terrell Owens. A beauty next Monday night from Philadelphia, as Green on first down is taken down after a gain of 1. And we check in with Michelle.
Well, Al, Packers nose tackle Grady Jackson, who was taken off on a cart, is going to be x-rayed. They're telling us he has a sprained left knee. As he was being taken off on the cart, you may have seen Jake Delhomme go over to the cart and sort of console him. Those two were teammates in New Orleans, so obviously some nice concern on the part of Delhomme, but doubtful is the word we're getting on Jackson's return now.
So that means we're going to see a lot of the young Jenkins. Meanwhile, the old Jenkins is 77, and he gets double-teamed, and then Green gets necktied, and then 5 Panthers are there to greet him, led by Julius Peppers, swarming.
I'll tell you, but it all starts with Chris Jenkins. You're right. He's going to get double teamed. But just watch the quickness and the power that he has to get through the double team to make the running back do something at that point. He gets right to that point right now. He takes about 3 or 4 blockers. He makes Amon Green jump to the outside, and then Julius Peppers makes the play right there. That's what you can do. If you have rush or push in the middle, you can bounce those things out to those outside linebackers and ends.
3rd and 9, and far throws. It's Tony Fisher, and Fisher picks up the first down before he's grabbed from behind by Dan Morgan. So they bring Fisher into the backfield a lot on 3rd down, either to stay in the block or to check and then go out into the pattern, which he does right here. Picks up the first and 11-yard gain.
We talk about the matchup here, and to me the big matchup is going to be the Green Bay offensive line against this Panther defensive line. And right there on that 3rd down, and that's when you're going to see it, because they can pin their ears back and come. And that time, the Green Bay Packer offensive line won that battle.
It's always been my favorite phrase, pin your ears back.
anytime it's 3rd and long, you know, that's when they get that backside foot back deeper and put their head down. And
comes out of horse racing as Robert Ferguson was the intended receiver with Favre going deep downfield, and it's incomplete. It's like when a horse that has his ears pinned back is normally primed for a big finish.
Right, and running right through the wind, too. Huh?
Right.
Doesn't the wind put him back a little? The wind probably that he makes by running fast.
I've got to call Keith Jackson. Keith would know.
No, but that's what they do. I mean, they they get down in that sprinter stance. They get a little wider, and they just go to a point about 7 yards deep where they expect the quarterback to be.
2nd and 10. And this is Green, and Green is able to cut back and pick up 9 and then lose the ball. But right there to recover it is Javon Walker, who thought for a moment that he wasn't downed at the 44 because he probably didn't hear the whistle. And in fact, he was exactly right. Walker recovers the fumble, then realizes he's heard no whistle, so he wasn't downed by contact. He gets up and takes it to the 33-yard line, pending a possible look at it if Carolina wants to challenge.
Yeah, this is a thing that Amon Green had problems with early in the season, and then he changed those armbands, and then he didn't have any problem later in the season, and he has a problem right here. Just as he's going down, that ball is knocked out. It's a fumble. As you say, they pick it up. There's nothing to stop the play.
So now John Fox could challenge. This is a challengeable.
Is challenging the ruling on the field that the runner could continue to run.
Well, if there's no down by contact, if Amon Green wasn't down by contact, if they didn't rule that, then they can pick it up and advance it.
Regardless, Green Bay will have the ball. At which spot's the question?
Kick off each and every weekend with the new ESPN SoccerNet Press Pass. All the burning issues of the moment covered in full by our expert panel. More interviews.
Breaking news concerning Patrick Vieira.
More interaction.
Not a chance.
More controversy.
They're just talk.
The all-new ESPN SoccerNet.
I'll tell you what, we're having an earthquake. According to reports, Northern California has just suffered its most severe earthquake since 1906. There are aftershocks occurring right now. There has been damage. I can see some smoke out this way. Highways have collapsed.
ESPN presents an encore of the finest UEFA games from last year with the best of the UEFA Champions League. Today, could they knock out mighty Manchester United? The Giant Killers Porto are on their way to glory. The best of the UEFA Champions League on ESPN.
Still going over the replay here, the challenge by Fox. The only question is, are they going to give them the 7 more yards? Here is Green, clearly fumbling. Now, when Walker picks it up, he must be down by a Panther. There are 2 Packers there. Nobody touches him. He gets out. The umpire, Carl Pagnelli, was right there. Number one, he didn't blow the whistle, so that meant the ball is alive. And then he still didn't blow the whistle, and Walker had the presence of mind to advance it about 7 more yards. So I'm going to guess right now that the challenge will be denied, and it will cost Carolina a timeout.
Well, you know, it was interesting when we were talking to John Fox yesterday. He said sometimes he will challenge just to get a long timeout. And if you look at the time of possession so far, the Packers have had the ball almost 8 minutes. Carolina just 134. So I could see that would be a possibility. His defense is starting to get a little tired.
After reviewing the play, the runner did fumble the ball. It was recovered by number 84. He was not touched down. It was legal for him to get up and continue to run. Carolina will be charged with their first timeout.
So Fox loses it, and as John said, well, maybe, you know, you need a little extra rest here. It costs them, though. It costs them a timeout. Not that big of a deal in the first half. But it also means, remember, there's a new rule in effect this year. It used to be you had 2 challenges, period. Now you get 2 challenges, and if you win them both, you get a 3rd challenge. That's a new rule, so Fox can't do that.
No, he's not going to get a 3rd challenge here tonight. But he did get the one thing I think he wanted is a long timeout to get his defense a little rest, because they were getting a little tired here because the Packers have been running the ball at him a lot in this first quarter.
about 3.5 minutes worth of timeouts. It's 12 extra yards. They got it from the 45 to the 33, and now this is Davenport tunneling his way for a gain of a yard, maybe a yard and a half, as we tick down to the 5-minute mark of the first period.
And that was that counter play again, and it seems like every team in the league is running that thing now. And remember when Joe Gibbs started it with the Washington Redskins counter trey, and they used to pull the guard and the tackle. Now they'll get a tight end and a guard, so they usually get that to keep this tackle backside so that backside defensive end doesn't chase it and catch it from behind.
2nd down and 9 from the 32. Green back in the backfield, and here comes Jenkins across the line.
That was the thing the Packers are worried about, is how quickly Chris Jenkins gets off on the ball. They're going to have some hard count to try and get him to jump.
Encroachment, 77, defense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
And that's what they did right there. They had a hard count. Now watch them. You get up there and you start your count. They had a little motion. Then they give them the hard count. Now they had done hard count before, but not hard count with motion. And they thought that there's something that Chris Jenkins watches when a man goes in motion that gets him to jump. So they combined motion and hard count and got 5 yards.
2nd down and 4. Green behind Henderson. And Green is about a yard short of the first down to the 24-yard line. Let's take a look at the Carolina defense.
Well, you know what they do is they go from a 4-3, and when they have to stop the run, they go to a 4-4, and that's what they were in that last time. They, again, 4 defensive linemen, 4 linebackers, and only 3 defensive backs. It's a defense just to stop the run, and they're in it right now.
3rd down and 1. Green, who was exceptional last year, in fact 8 for 8 on 3rd and 1, and he takes it right to where that yellow stripe is, so very close to a first down. Walt Coleman says, let's stop the clock for a second, let's bring the chains out and take a peek.
Yeah, here's the defense that they're in, and you see here's 1, 2, 3, 4 defensive linemen. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4 linebackers. So it's a 4-4, and that means that they only have 3 defensive backs there. And somewhere you think that they can get them in that and throw against it somewhere in this game.
But there they are, coming up just a little short of a first down.
Oh, and that's the thing, I guess, where you kick when you're on the road. But I think I'd go with a quarterback sneak. I think in this situation here, you kind of have the defense worn down a little. I think I would probably go for it.
But instead, it's going to be Ryan Longwell, who last year became the Packers' all-time leading scorer, attempting a 41-yard field goal. Doug Peterson, the backup quarterback to Favre, will hold it. Snap good, so's the placement, and the kick is perfect. 3.5 to go in the opening period as the Green Bay Packers settle for 3 and take the lead against the NFC champion Carolina Panthers in Charlotte.
ESPN joins the fans of the most beautiful game in the world. In Europe, skill, tactic, and precision. In the United States, force, courage, and speed. In Brazil, magic, passion, and talent. In the Netherlands, touch, power, and excitement. And if that's not enough, the World Cup qualifying matches crowns the trip around the 5 continents. Football around the world on ESPN, the world's greatest fan.
No equipment needed. Only your hands and your heart. And according to the outcome, you will live 3 minutes of hell or 3 minutes of glory. Friday Night Fights on ESPN.
They say I look at the ball the way a linebacker looks for a sack. The way a batter looks at a pitch. Wow, they said. You hit that thing just like a puck, Jerry. But I'm from Wisconsin. and I used to play hockey. So I take that as a compliment.
Jerry Kelly. See him and all the stars of the PGA Tour on ESPN.
ESPN presents an encore of the finest UEFA games from last year with the best of the UEFA Champions League. Today, could they knock out mighty Manchester United? The Giant Killers Porto are on their way to glory. The best of the UEFA Champions League on ESPN.
ESPN on Sunday night, the Miami Dolphins taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. These are those teams losing on the opening weekend, so trying to get untracked. John, of course, will get untracked after the game.
Yeah, I'll go back up the same road I came down on just a few days ago.
We'll be on that road a lot this year. A lot of games in the East as Deshaun Foster takes it at the 8, and since the kick had pinned him at the sideline, the coverage is outstanding, and he's tackled at the 8-yard line. And back we go to Michelle.
Well, talking about Jake Delhomme, his dad, Jerry, his mom, Marcia, have 2 sons. Not only Jake, who's 29, but 34-year-old Jeff, who played wide receiver at McNeese State. Now, the 2 boys used to throw the football around all the time in the backyard when they were growing up, and Jerry said he got used to it. But now he says, imagine standing at your back window and looking out and seeing your 2 sons playing catch. One who's an NFL star, the other one still his big brother. He said, sometimes you just have to pinch yourself, Al.
And there is Jerry in from Louisiana, watching his boy with the NFC champions, and it's Stephen Davis picking up 7 yards. Delhomme, like so many quarterbacks in recent times, I think of guys like Jeff Hostetler and Trent Green and Kurt Warner, of course. They bounce around, they play in Europe, they go to various other, leagues, the Arena League or whatever, and then they finally get that one chance, which he got last year at halftime of opening day, and then he played 15 and a half pretty good games last year to get into the Super Bowl.
And he is a competitor. I mean, you want a fiery guy at quarterback. He is a very fiery guy.
Davis to the short side of the field, picks up a first down.
In fact, he reminds me of a young Brett Favre. That if there's anything wrong early in a game, he's a little too excitable. He has so much adrenaline, going through him. He may throw the ball out of the stadium. But then as the game goes on, he tends to calm down. And just think of the Super Bowl. The first quarter, not very good. Second quarter, very good. Third quarter coming out, not too good. Fourth quarter of the Super Bowl, I thought Jake Delhomme was great.
Well, they had no points with a little over 2 minutes to play in the first half of the Super Bowl and wound up with 29. First and 10. Great protection for Delhomme. Open for Davis over the middle, and Davis rumbles out to the 41-yard line. So he threw it underneath, checked it off, 22-yard gain, Delhomme to Davis.
And he looks very calm back there. And I think, the thing that impresses me about Jake Delhomme, I was just watching the other day in practice, when he makes a decision, when he decides that he's going to throw, watch him here, the ball comes out quickly. Like right now, boom, it's out of there. I mean, he doesn't spend a lot of time. Once he knows where it's going there. Right now, he sees it, and it's out of there. And I think that's one of his strong points. On that play, he had great pass protection on it.
Now Davis's replacement is Deshaun Foster out of UCLA, and Foster, who really came on last year, picks up 8 here. Here's the Packer defensive unit.
Well, you see they're having trouble.
Aaron Campbell, Iowa. Grady Jackson, Knoxville College. Cletus Hunt, Kentucky State.
Kabir Bajabia-Miller, San Diego State.
Hannibal Navis, Berkeley High.
Nick Barnett, Oregon State.
Niall Diggs, V, Ohio State University.
Michael Hawthorne, Purdue. Mark Roman, LSU.
Darren Sharper, College of William and Mary.
Al Harris, A&M Kingsville.
The guy who's missing is Mike McKenzie, who's a great cornerback, but he's holding out, and it's Foster on 2nd and 2, picking up the first down as they try to strip it and can. And the question becomes, with McKenzie gone, John, will that factor in at some point tonight? McKenzie's missing $161,765 a game with his holdout.
And I think he's missing the money, and I think the Packers are missing him. And I think as this season goes on, they're going to miss him more and more. Jake Delhomme on that last play really got rid of the ball quickly again, because the Packers trying to get some pressure on him because they had good pass protection on the play before. They come in a blitz. He knows again that he has to get that ball out of there quickly, and he does it.
And in the secondary, Mark Roman is down, and Roman is a guy who came over from Cincinnati, and he moves into the spot formerly occupied by Antoine Edwards. So he is down.
Mark Roman is number 23, and you're going to see he gets hit by his own man. They had two guys bringing him down, and then the third guy comes in and hits him. Watch, Honorable Navies is going to come in, number 50, after they're trying to get the ball out of there. You see there's two guys trying to not to take him down, really, but just to strip the ball. And then Navies comes in and puts his helmet right in Roman's ribs.
And Roman is able to trot off the field, and Bao Ju comes in, number 21, to take his spot now in the waning moments of the opening quarter. Bao Ju, fourth year out of Penn State. So McKenzie gone and resurrecting that secondary. Delhomme, knowing who's in, knowing who's out, and let's see if he can exploit it. From the 43-yard line, he stays on the ground here on the first play of this series. Stephen Davis for a gain of 1. And that should tick us down to triple zeros. Cal Truluk, who recently came over from Kansas City, makes the tackle. So the opening quarter is gone in Charlotte. And at the end of 1, it's Green Bay 3, Carolina nothing. And Monday Night Football resumes after this message and a word from our ABC station.